Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne-Sophie, I'm a knitter from Belgium, and I'm dealing with a pretty profound case of chronic castanitis. Honestly, I don't even know how I managed to do this, but I have 18 whips. Last time I counted, I had 19 whips, so either I lost one or I miscounted because I have 18 on my desk right now. I really need help, so I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I have a little list and all of these markers to sort the whips into categories. So I'm either gonna mark them urgent with pink, I'm gonna mark them as my current favorite, which allows me to work on them when I need like a little dopamine hit or when I just feel like it. I think I'm gonna allow myself 2 current favorites, or like maybe even just 1 to work on while I finish all of the other whips. I'm gonna use purple to indicate the whips that are like next in line to finish after I finish the urgent ones. And then the other purple I'm gonna use to indicate like waiting for a minute, but those are next in line after the next in line. And then yellow is going to be for hibernating. I'm gonna have some that just need to hibernate for a minute. I'll explain why, but those will be yellow. I'm hoping that talking through all of these whips with you and organizing them into these categories will kind of help me stay focused and also stay sane, because honestly, I think I would just keep casting on more whips if I would have the cables for it. Luckily, I don't, and I'm not gonna buy more cables for my interchangeable needle set. Like at this point, I've been joining cables with the little join piece that you get with the Like needle set. So I've been creating like 100 centimeter cables by joining a 40 and a 60 centimeter one. Yeah, this is a new low for me. I'll probably hit more lows as this video progresses and I continue to expose myself and my bad habits, but that's entirely on me and I deserve it. If you don't agree with the way I categorize these whips and you think some whips should be higher in line in terms of urgency, let me know in the comments below which one you would like to see me finish earlier than others, and maybe I'll just end up doing that and feel inspired by you guys. So yeah, let's start. Let's start with the last thing I cast on, which I actually cast on only a few days ago, and that is my heart chain sweater by From Mayo. I'm currently on the yoke. I finished the back panel. This is the prettiest thing I have ever knit. Look at this! It has these pretty heart chains, which lends the pattern its name. It's by a Korean designer. And I've done the back panel and part of the front, the left front shoulder. I think I'm just getting ready to increase for the neckline. I'm using Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool in the color Gamal Rosa or Old Rose, and I'm holding it with Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Dusty Rose. They look like this. I feel like the Dusty Rose kind of softens up the pretty cool toned Old Rose and makes it like a bit softer and a bit more dusty and neutralizes the pink. They work together fabulously though. Look at this. Stunning. So this pattern is entirely charted. There's no written out instructions for certain parts of the chart, and you just get a huge chart for the back panel and the front panel and the sleeves. I'm knitting a size large. I actually hit gauge for once on 5.5 millimeter needles, and I'm very excited about that because usually I need to size down, but not with this. I think because it calls for a worsted weight and I'm holding a worsted weight with a lace mohair, which might be a good hack for the future. The pattern is entirely charted, which is interesting. I'm lucky that I read patterns on my iPad and charts on my iPad, so I can just zoom in. But if you were to be a person who prints out their patterns, you might not be able to read it. I think that would be the first time I would ever really need a magnifying glass in my adult life. You know what I mean? Like, it's so tiny, you just get an entire chart for the back and the front panel and the sleeve. So if you're planning on knitting this know that you might need your laptop or an iPad to zoom in on the pattern. It's also not terribly clear, but I do think it's like a relatively beginner-friendly pattern if you've knit like a really simple cable pattern before this, especially since I was surprised to see the cables aren't mirrored, which is great because I tend to get really distracted and make mistakes, and then I need to drop down my stitches to like make the cable go in the right direction in the point where I made a mistake. But all of the cables go in the same direction, which makes it really, really easy to knit and keep yourself in check, or whatever I want to say with that. Yeah, I guess it's safe to say that this is currently my favorite knit. I've been knitting on this nonstop. I created a little group chat on Instagram with people who are knitting it along with me, which is definitely necessary because this is an actual beast, and I felt kind of like a dum-dum at certain points while knitting this yoke already, and just knowing that other people are having the same issues in real time, like at the same time as me, has been incredibly comforting, so I'm very glad we're doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna mark this as my current favorite that I'm allowed to knit on. Now, right before I cast on my heart chain sweater, I cast on this pearl jacket, of which I've actually finished the yoke, and I'm currently on the body. Ta-da! This is the inside though. I should show you the outside. Ta-da! This is a pattern by Garno Slikt or Helena Beba. It is a cardigan pattern in broken rib. For this one, I'm knitting a size medium, and I was off gauge, so I'm using 4.5mm needles instead of 5mm needles, so I went down a needle size. I'm knitting this together with two friends over on Instagram, but also here on YouTube, Maddie from True Summer Knits and Victoria from Blank Stitches. We're all knitting like pretty different versions, which is gonna look so cool. I always love to see that. This is a drop shoulder pattern as well, but instead of short rows, as is the case with the heart chain sweater, you do beautiful increases along these lines. Oh, it's a v-neck jacket, by the way, so I've knit a little v-neck already. I'm using Filcolana Peruvian again, but this time in the color Rime Frost. It's like a really greenish blue. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, I think it's appearing more blue on camera than it is in real life, but it's like a greenish bubblegum baby blue, and I'm not entirely sure it looks great on me and that I'm gonna love this, but you never know until you finish an item, and if I don't end up liking the color, I'll just over dye it with some Rit dye and it'll be a fun little experiment. I think this is gonna grow a lot. It doesn't have as much positive ease as I thought it would. I sized up for that reason because I would like it to have a lot of positive ease as it's a jacket. So it's knit up at a worsted weight. I think the suggested weight is a DK held with lace mohair to give you worsted. I'm just using worsted. It's giving like very distinct stitch definition, which I like, but I don't know. My stitches are a little bit slanted though, and I think a mohair would kind of hide that a bit more. This is, I think, gonna go in the next in line category to finish. Or like once my heart chain sweater is finished, this is going to be my next current favorite. So it's like next in line for current favorite, if that makes sense. I am knitting on it every Tuesday. Oh, I dropped my yarn. Got it. I am knitting on this every Tuesday with my friends, so that's fun, but I made sure to like get ahead on the yoke and be knitting the body now, so once I finish this ball, I'm gonna get on to the sleeves, and yeah, I don't know, I kind of got ahead so I could make progress on my other 17 whips, but I won't be like falling behind on my friends as they knit because I have knit this much already, so I just speed ran the yoke. And I think I'm set now and I won't be falling behind too much if I focus on my heart chain sweater and my urgent whips for a minute now. Now, I think this is actually going to be my most urgent whip, or like second most urgent whip. This is actually not mine. This is my mom's Monday sweater, but as you can see, sorry, it's stuck. It's not looking too great. So This is looking amazing. This is the prettiest sweater my mom ever knit. She loves it so much. It's a pattern by Petite Knit. It's just a simple raglan. She knit it in Knitting for Olive merino held with soft silk mohair a few months ago, really. But while it was blocking, her cats got to it and the living room was full of yarn. They bit holes into the garment. So she's already fixed the issues we had with the sleeves. I think you can see here that she reknit this part because this has been blocked and this hasn't. But now she also had to reknit part of the body. I don't know if you can see that. So it's been blocked here, but then at the bottom is where she added a new part. Look at how nice my mom's tension is though. Like this is so pretty. Even unblocked, her tension is just immaculate. It's amazing. I helped her, well, cut it, and then now I'm helping her by grafting it back together. So this is the yarn I have. This is kind of how far I got last weekend. And then she gave me the sweater to take home with me and continue grafting. I still have her pink licky needles on here. Yeah, I'm just gonna slowly continue grafting this baby together, and then I'll block it for her because Lila just sleeps on knits. She doesn't eat them and eat gigantic holes out of them like Idris does. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna roll this up and I'll make sure to share the finished grafted item on Instagram for those of you who are interested. I think I might need to knit myself a Monday sweater after this and after finishing all my other whips because this looks so cute and pretty. And I'm also just very happy to be able to help out my mom after she basically taught me how to knit for the umpteenth time during the pandemic, and it finally stuck then, so that's nice. The next thing I cast on is a gift for a friend who is soon to be a first-time mom, and her favorite colors are like very bright yellow and purple, especially combined. So I'm knitting her this tiny romper. Ah, this is so cute. It's like a little raglan baby romper with just little sleeves that I haven't knit yet. I currently am finishing the bum section. Don't look at my joins, they look terrible. I'm not proud of those. I made the mistake of doing 2 rows for every color. I should have done 3 or 4 row repeats because it's really hard to make jogless joins look nice when you only have 2 rows for a stripe. I learned that the hard way with this pattern, but babies lie on their backs all the time, so I'm ignoring that. It's gonna have a little keyhole with a button for putting it on, and I'm gonna have to find buttons for the bottom. But yeah, this is looking pretty cute. I'm using the Sunday morning baby romper pattern, which I found on Ravelry, and I'm just holding Drops Baby Merino Double, which is a sport weight yarn, and it's supposed to be a DK weight knit, so I think this is off gauge and gonna grow quite a lot, but I'd rather something be too big for a baby than too small. And the baby's parents are really tall people, so I'm sure it's gonna be a pretty tall baby. So I think making something too big is not too much of a risk. And like, look how tiny this looks. It's so cute. I think this is also very high up on the urgency list. It's also just almost finished, maybe even higher up than the Monday sweater because she can literally give birth anytime now. Once I've edited this video, I'll just sit down and finish this and the Monday sweater, and then the other whip that I have that's almost finished. I'll show you that whip right now. Okay, I'm really exposing myself here. I knit these I'm Ecstatic socks by Cool Stitches for my partner, but as you can see, they turned out really small. I accidentally ended up being off gauge. It's just a simple all over cabled pattern. It's been pilling a little bit because I've been wearing them, but these are knit in Sunless Garn Perfect or Perfect in a dark gray melange color, and well, they were too small for my partner, so I've been knitting a second much bigger pair for him. Yeah, I haven't blocked this yet. I'm doing a gusset heel. I just self-drafted a little gusset heel based on, well, what I knew and my feeling. It's looking pretty good. It's fitting him well. And then this is really embarrassing. This is how far along I am with the second sock. Like, if I sit down to finish this, it would probably take me like a little over an hour and these socks will be finished. I don't know why I haven't finished this. It's so dumb. So yeah, this is definitely like my top most urgent whip and the quickest thing I'll have finished out of all of these whips. Yeah, this is embarrassing. This is really bad. I don't know why I haven't finished this. I just got really distracted and excited about other whips. And yeah, this is sad. Putting this away, finishing this ASAP, and then I'll talk about it in my next podcast. Another embarrassing whip is this pair of socks that I cast on for my grandfather in August. It's just a basic vanilla sock. I'm So Basic Socks, I think, by Summer Lee. It just has a gusset and a simple decreased toe. It's cuffed down. I'm knitting a 2x2 rib, or I knit a 2x2 rib on the cuff. I'm using Filcolana Arwetta in the color Slate. And I have one perfect, beautiful sock ready. And I'm just kind of stuck on the heel for the second one. I dropped my yarn again. I usually knit socks while I'm commuting, but for some reason, Filcolana Arwetta is really nice to knit with, but this one is like really fluffy and splitty compared to other ones I've used before. It's a superwash merino and nylon sock blend, but especially with the heel flap and just knitting this on public transportation, you can really see tension differences and issues, which I'm not really used to with Filcolana Arwetta, and I think I just have to sit down and finish these on my couch rather than while I'm commuting or while I'm on the go. I think that's why I haven't really finished these, but I really should. I should finish these as soon as possible, so these are also very high on the urgency list. And I think that next on the urgency list will probably be another baby gift. I need to, ooh, no, I'm dropping yarn all over the place. I need to find a way to make this look presentable. I'm knitting something in Drops Baby Merino again, which is a superwash merino yarn, sport weight. I'm holding it double to make this a ripple stitch baby blanket. This is so stinking cute. Look at this. This might be one of the prettiest things I've ever knit. Also, this is knit on 4.5mm needles, which I'm also using for my pearl jacket. So this is what I've been doing to switch between projects. This is pathetic. I know. I also have this, oh, see, this is the perfect example of how chaotic I have become. I've joined 2 shorter cables to make this longer one. This is just a basic ripple stitch. It's a free pattern I found on Ravelry. I made the adjustment of doing intarsia for the ends, which is gonna, or for the border, which is gonna leave me with all of these ends to weave in. But I think that looks a lot prettier than having the white lines and the colored lines continue onto the side. I think it looks really polished and cute, and the parents are going to appreciate the extra effort I put into that, I think. It's my partner's best friend and his partner are expecting a baby, and they're not sharing the biological sex until the birth, or at least they don't plan to. The baby is probably going to be here around May, and I have until then to finish it. I think I'm gonna do about 3 color repeats. So I have the darker purple, the lighter purple, the darker green, the lighter green, and the yellow, and now I've gone back into the darker purple. So I think about 3 repeats will be fine and perfect in terms of length. This is knitting up fairly quickly and I'm having so much fun with it, mostly because it's looking so cute. I thought these colors were gender neutral enough and also like a bit warmer pastel colors than I would go for myself, but the parents really love these colors and they really match their vibe, so I think they're gonna like this gift a lot. I hope I'm gonna have like enough yarn left over to make a little colorwork sweater to match. Maybe like the Knitting for Olive dot sweater with all of these dots in colors that match. That would be adorable. So this is also pretty high up on the list in terms of urgency, but it is the lowest on the urgency list, I think, because it's, well, I don't think the baby's gonna be here for a while. At least I hope not. I am very excited about this though. This is stunning. I think a baby blanket is such a fun gift to give because they're going to be able to use it for like years to come. So that's nice. The next whip I have to take you through is a gift knit as well for my cousin. It's looking like a rug or like a wall tapestry, but it's just a really chunky sweater. I'm holding Drop Snow double in the color lavender. So I finished the back or front panel. I don't know which one. I think it's the front panel. It's this cabled sweater by Kara Eng. My cousin saw it on Ravelry and said, this is what I want. This has been hurting my hands to knit, so I'm gonna have to like sit down and knit the second panel once my wrists don't hurt anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna need to finish this pretty quickly though, so she can still wear it like before we get to spring. I hope she realizes how chunky this is, because she was like, I want a really chunky knit, and this is really chunky. This is not my jam, but I'm happy it's knitting up quickly. Yeah, I'm happy about that. And again, I had to use this cable to keep these stitches on hold because I'm gonna knit the second panel and then you have to do a 3 needle bind off. But yeah, if I hurry with this and I finish the second panel, dang, I don't think I have a cable to knit the second panel. So I can only continue knitting on this, I think, once I finish the baby romper. Uh-oh. Okay, baby romper highest up on the list right now, so that I can continue knitting on this one and free up this cable to knit these sleeves and the neckline. I'm overwhelmed. Why did I do this to myself? Why? Here is yet another gift knit that I have to finish. Ooh, what's this doing here? This is the hanstholm sweater I've been knitting for my partner. I'm almost done on the first sleeve, which is great. This has just been languishing for a hot minute as I finish other gift knits, but I really should be continuing to work on this. I think this is going to be one of the only stockinette knits that I have ready on the needles, so I think this is going to be like my next on the list television watching knit, and then I'll be able to finish this pretty quickly. It's just a petite knit men's pattern. It's a basic raglan. I had a lot of trouble with the yoke and gauge. If you want more information on that, you can watch my last podcast, which was a while ago. I'm sorry. I've been doing weird special episodes where I've been updating you on my knits like in between. But yeah, this one hasn't made an appearance in a while. It's still not finished. I'm working on it. I'm knitting it in Knitting for Olive Merino held double in the color Dusty Petroleum Blue. It is gorgeous. I like it so much. Oh, Lila, where are you going? Hello? Look who's saying hi. Oh, I don't think she really wants to say hi. So yeah, this is gonna be amazing though. This is my favorite fabric I've ever knit, and I think my partner's gonna love this. I've made good progress on the body. I'm knitting a size small. Yeah, I should just make haste and make this my television knit. We'll do that. I keep calling everything urgent. This is not helping. We're fine. This is another thing I cast on in the fall and have not continued to knit on. As you can see, it's not even on needles because this is knit on the 3.5mm needles I'm currently using for the baby romper and for the ribbing on my hanstholm and other whips. But yeah, this is not looking like much. This is what I currently have of the back panel for my Amy slipover by Sunless Garn. It's actually supposed to go this way. It's not looking like much. I'm sorry, I need to continue knitting on this. This should go in like next on the list to knit on for myself because it's a turtleneck slipover pattern and I really want to be able to wear this like at the start of the spring. So I think this is the highest up on the list in terms of whips that I have for myself. So once I finish all of these gift knits and my mom's sweater, I think I'm gonna pick this one back up and I'm gonna hurry with my other knits so I can hopefully finish this before the start of spring, or like spring hits warm temperatures where I can't wear this anymore. I'm knitting this with some drops flora that I had in stash from when I just started knitting, and like 2 falls ago I bought this Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. Wait, it's not focusing. Here we go. Lila, what are you doing? Lila. Okay, I'm gonna let her go outside. So I'm using the drops flora in a mixed gray with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in a slightly cooler toned slate gray color, I think it's called. This color is no longer produced by Knitting for Olive, which I'm incredibly sad about because look at how pretty this looks. This is amazing. This is such a nice combination of yarn. The drops flora that I had in stash is an alpaca wool blend. So it's like super drapey, super soft, really fun to knit up. It's a fingering weight held with the mohair. And it's a pattern that I have in a Sunless Garn booklet that I bought a while ago, so I'm just trying to get through those patterns. I'm hoping I'll be able to finish this soon-ish. I think this is the first thing I want to finish for myself, apart from like maybe the heart chain sweater, because that's my current favorite to be knitting on. I think as soon as I finish the hanstholm sweater, this might be my next television whip. While we're on the topic of actual languishing whips, I also have this agnete cardigan by Petite Knit, which I cast on in the fall of 2023 and which currently looks like this. So I've done the back yoke and I've just picked up for the right sleeve. Ta-da! I've barely knit anything on that right sleeve. It's knit on 3mm needles. This is a set pair of needles, so I'm not missing that too much. It's a fully brioche stitch pattern on 3mm needles. I think I should really pick this back up. Maybe once I finish the pearl jacket, this would be a really good spring knit. I'm knitting it in Knitting for Olive, merino and soft silk mohair held together in the color Dusty Moose, which to me is just the perfect neutral for my coloring. I have a top in the color, a camisole, and it looks so good on me, so I can't wait to wear this with that cami in the spring on like a blue or a gray pair of jeans, or even black. It looks amazing. It's the perfect brownish gray, and I really need to continue working on this. This has been like a long-term whip of mine, but I'm sick of it being a long-term whip, and it's so beautiful and so nice and so fun. I think I'll enjoy it more if I get to wear it like weekly rather than just look at this unfinished whip languishing somewhere, you know? It's a drop shoulder too with pretty increases. So yeah, I think once I finish my pearl cardigan and heart chain sweater, I can continue knitting on this, and I should, because I'm gonna love the crippy crap out of this one, I think, once I finish it. And working on it, it's really fun, brioche stitch, especially once you learn how to fix stitches and drop stitches down. Not even that difficult. Look it up on YouTube. It's a lot less hard than people make it out to be once you know how to fix stitches by dropping them. This is not really a languishing whip. This is a very long-term whip that I only work on during the summer and the spring, and I have for 2 years. I started this in the summer of 2023. This is my melides dress by Knit. I'm knitting it in the suggested yarn on 3mm needles, another pair of set needles, my C knits. In Knitting for Olive pure silk, that looks horrible because it's been in a project bag. In the color Dusty Artichoke, I have 5 balls of these. You're able to wear this as like a reversible dress, so there's a square neckline, and then there's a V-neck on the side. Ta-da. It has these perfect little darts. It's made to measure. Ines from Knit actually updated the pattern, but I'm using the old version because I cast it on in 2023. I'm really hoping to finish this spring. I only have a few centimeters to go on the body, like I think 20 centimeters maybe. And it's just stockinette with a few slip stitches that I have to be doing, so this would be a good television knit to work on as well. I really want to finish it this spring and then do the I-cords so I can wear it this summer. Let's see if I manage. But yeah, I think I will. It's really like a long-term whip that I planned to be long-term because I knew I wouldn't ever finish a beast like this in one go. I know people have been knitting this and have done it in like the span of 2 or 3 months. Could not be me. I think realistically I can finish this spring if I don't cast on too many new projects, which I'm not going to allow myself to do. The only thing I'm allowing myself to cast on, the next thing, is my birthday cast on the 24th of April. I'm going to cast on a Madeline sweater by Knitting for Olive as a gift, as a birthday gift. So yeah, gonna do that. And until then, I'm not going to cast anything on unless I finished all of these whips. I think that's reasonable. Yep. I also have a little crochet whip. I crocheted a pillow last summer with these little granny squares, and I have a lot of yarn left over, so I'm crocheting another pillow. I have a few granny squares already that I need to connect to this part. I've talked a lot about this exact pillow in other podcasts and videos, so if you want to know more, check out the podcast episode with this look in the thumbnail and you'll know more because I don't want to be too repetitive and I think this is going to be really long anyway. I think I'll be crocheting on this or continue to crochet on this when my wrists hurt from knitting. I think I've kind of dropped this for a minute because I'm scared I won't have enough yarn for a second pillow and I'll just end up with one granny square too little, but I have to continue crocheting on this to know whether that will be the case or not, so I should just do that. Yeah, but this is low on the list because I already have a pillow and I think I'm gonna have to push myself through with this one. But I think the no cast on rule until I cast off some of these things will actually work and help me finish this. 1 year ago, I promised I would knit my partner's family socks and gloves for Christmas. And this is the one sock I have for his father that I haven't blocked or haven't finished. And this is what I have for the second sock. Definitely a victim of second sock syndrome with this one. This is yarn I bought in New York. It's cotton sock yarn, cotton and nylon. My partner's father is vegan, so he wanted cotton socks. Knitting this one really hurt my hands. So yeah, I don't know. It's also not going to be stretchy enough for a sock. I have like a ton of questions about this, but I mean, him wanting cotton socks is not on me, and I should just finish it and give them to him and get it over with. So yeah. This is also on the urgency list because these are long overdue. I think I won't allow myself to cast on new socks or a new accessory until I finished the socks for my grandpa, my partner, and my partner's father. Ugh, I hate myself for saying it because I already feel so angry about having to knit that second sock, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be strong. Another thing I have to talk about, I haven't talked about this actual whip on my podcast just yet. I actually took the sleeve off the needles. This is my holly sweater that I was knitting in November and December. It looks amazing. I'm very proud of this. This is my first time ever doing color work. For some reason, I had this weird brain fart where I decided to go down a needle size for the color work instead of up a needle size. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, that was very dumb. That was a really dumb thing to do. My tension, I don't think you can really see it now, but my tension for the color work is super tight. I can feel it when I'm wearing it. It's just like basically choking me. So come November, I'm going to cut this part out of the yoke like I'm doing with my mom's Monday sweater. I'm gonna re-knit the color work on larger needles and then graft this back together over here and finish the sleeves, and I'll have a Christmas jumper. I just don't really feel like doing that now because it's not really Christmas, you know? So I'm gonna do it next winter. I'm gonna fix the bad color work. Although, you know, 3-strand color work with bobbles, for doing that, it's looking pretty good for a first time doing color work. It's just way too tight, but like way too tight. I knit it in Sandnesgarn Pergint, which was really fun to knit with. And yeah, I think I used the marzipan color, the urban chic color, and then the bright red. It looks really good. I'm very glad I did this. I went with a size large to have it be more oversized, but still the yoke cinches in on my body so much. I finished the body though, like entirely, before I realized my gauge was off. So what I learned from this one is that with color work, I definitely need to try on my knit as I'm going along, and I need to size up my needles rather than down. I don't know what I was thinking. Huge flop, but well, it was the end of the year. I was tired. I'll just have this hibernate until the winter, and then I'll re-knit the yoke, finish the sleeves, and we'll be good to go. Which is fun. I get to do the color work twice. I'm actually excited about that. So yeah. Now my last 3 projects are actually pretty silly. So this is a maren tee by neknits, or at least the tiny bit I have for it. I'm not even going to try and untangle this because I'm going to make it worse. I was using my 3.5mm needles to knit this collar. Then I took those needles out to knit the collar for the hanstholm sweater, I think, or even for something different because I cast this on in the spring last year and then I never finished it. It's a double knit collar. It looks really pretty. And then this is what I have for the body. I should continue knitting on this. It's so soft, it's so pretty. I'm using one of the suggested yarns, like the same as her sample, Isager Boucle, which is a 100% alpaca boucle yarn. So pretty, so fun. It was pretty rough on my hands though, especially with the double knitting. I'm not allowing myself to knit on anything else until I finish my whips, including this one. So I'll probably finish this in the spring. It's a really good spring knit. I can't wait to continue knitting on this and get to wear it. But yeah, this is kind of sad, you know. Whoops. Sorry, Maren T. I swear I'm excited about you. I was sick of the double knitting, you know? Now, something else. I tried to self-draft leg warmers for my sister in November because she requested them for her birthday, and she wanted ones with a ruffled edge. This is what the ruffle looks like. It looks hideous. Absolutely hideous. Then I had like a little brain fart moment here where I did a provisional cast on and I wanted to do something cute with like a pretty bind off. Rather than doing a tubular cast off, I wanted to do provisional cast on and then a tubular bind off, which was just so silly. I was in my brain fart era in November. I didn't know what was going on. I just need to get over this loss, accept that I have been defeated, and just cast on a new pair of leg warmers for my sister and just do a normal ruffle. I was knitting these on 5.5mm needles with Sunless Garn Perfect Held Double because she wanted them really chunky. And I'm just gonna frog this and make her a pretty pair, just to do a normal ruffle instead of whatever the frickety frack this is. The last thing I have to show you is something I've been knitting with this hand-dyed Surrey that I got. I'm normally not a hand-dyed girly, but look at how beautiful this yarn is. It's marvelous. It's a yarn by Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. from her Bridgerton collection. She's a Norwegian indie dyer. And it is absolutely ethereal, so stunning. But I have 3 hanks of this, and the hanks really don't match in terms of color, like really don't match. I didn't realize until I kicked them up, and I forgot. Again, I had a year full of brain farts. I was knitting a blouse number 1 light, but with just the blouse number 1 pattern on 4mm needles, with 1 strand of Surrey because I want it to be really ethereal. And the top portion looks amazing, right? It looks beautiful, stunning, until I joined the second ball. I alternated a few rows while I changed into the second ball, but yeah, it's like, it's giving an ombre effect, it's giving stripes. I don't like the way it looks. I think I might just need to frog this entirely, which is a huge pity because it looks beautiful, but because the yarn really doesn't match and gives me striping, I think I should just frog this and use this and the third cake. Well, the third cake is basically in here already. I should use this, I think, for an accessory set where I can knit mittens and a hat and maybe something else cute with this yarn. They'll match, but they won't be like directly next to each other, so you won't notice that there's such a huge discrepancy between the items. So yeah, I have to frog this. I think I've accepted defeat, which is a pity because this is so soft. I think I should get Surrey at one point and redo this idea. It just won't be with this yarn because it's a flop. And yeah, I should frog it because then I can repurpose this barber cord because I've been trying to find barber cord to use, but it's all been held up in projects, so whoops. Yeah, so those are all of my whips. I think my next video should be a normal podcast again after doing this. I'm hoping it will be very finished object heavy. I kind of know where to start, but I'm feeling like it's going to be a very chaotic venture to work my way through all of these whips. If you managed to get to the end of this video, thank you so much for sticking around. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and get to enjoy some lovely knitting time, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.